Hello there. Welcome to episode 22 of my tutorial series for Dwarf Fortress. In today's episode, we're going to work a little bit more on our trap corridor system, and I also want to work a little bit on some secrets that I discovered that really were quite shocking to me. So I did some research about the case of the iron bars, because if you have watched the last episode, I was trying to make some stuff out of iron because, traps and trap parts, they love iron. And I realized when I tried to forge a weapon for my new squad members that obviously the game says I don't have any iron, which is weird because if I check out the display here, there's 174 bars of iron, but check this out. So it actually lists every single freaking piece of wall that I got here as a bar. That's brutal. So when I realized that, this was absolutely new to me. I never built with iron in that dimension. So what this means, though, is pretty simple. That we check this out here. So our smelting jobs, they're not limited to iron bar amounts. That's already good. Sometimes I do smelting jobs that are ought to stop when I have hit 100 metal bars, for example. That's a pretty standard procedure for me, and I am honestly quite relieved that this ain't on the table. So I just wanted to introduce that. So we really gotta get rid of that job. Nobody needs that anymore. So there we go. Oh, I missed a spot there last time. Okay, so long story short, I just wanted to showcase that when you are building with a certain material, the game gives you a false readout about the amounts of what you own there, because yeah, I do own it, but it's part of my fortress, so duh. I don't think that's really a nice way to see your stockpiles, and I'm already afraid that a part of my Billon bars will be in the future be displayed in the lid of my box up there. We're constructing a huge Billon bridge there. So they're still working on it. I'll let them do their thing. And yeah, so next step required, we gotta do something about that iron shortage. So let's see how that comes together. So there's hematite lying around, and we don't have a smelting job for hematite. So there's most of the time a very easy and simple reason for something shortening in your fortress. So I know I keep telling that every time I do a video, but it really does pay off to recheck your things whenever, yeah, well, from time to time, so to say. So we're going to do this as follows. Again, here, if there's hematite around and if there's enough refined coal, you go you. So we're going to do that several times a day. You know what, we're going to keep it at 10 because I want that stuff to be processed. As we see there, our iron shortage is mostly a reason of hematite not being processed, but also I do realize that we obviously could mine out a new vein or two. So the next thing that I want to do today is also not only mining out traps. Oh yeah, that's some hematite we can go for. I also want to go for some new military squad, because honestly the last time, what's happening there? Oh, we have thieves. The last time was already pretty much a wake-up call for me, so I'm afraid the thieves will be already on the leave, aren't they? So let's see. Cobalt thief, let's follow him on the cam. He's escaping from the map. Yeah, he's terrified while in conflict. So now I want to know what the conflict is. The Dwarf Fortress has a terrible, well, it can be terribly confusing with things. So, ghostly human bowman. Oh, we have a ghost to bury. Damn, I must have forgotten that. Oh, sorry about that. So, we got to work on those thieves another day. Obviously, they got away with something. I bet they're sneaking in there and grabbing something from the big stockpile up there, but I'll leave it as it is for now, because this is a beginner fortress full with lots of bad mistakes and all. But let's get on over and let's do this ghost problem next, okay? You know, we got to work on all problems. So ghosts, as you see there, they don't spread happiness exactly. So everybody in the vicinity of the ghost, I'm pretty sure that, well, they're more worried about not being able to pray, but not finding any interaction, but I'm pretty sure that thing will interact sooner or later. And the gist of it is we want to get rid of them. So we're going to create a slab at the stoneworkers workshop while I hope that my smelters are working now. So sometimes there's quite a time between one episode and the other, and I'm sorry if I miss a topic or some. Leave me a comment if I ever miss a topic that you were looking forward to. Sometimes that just happens. So we're making a slab. A slab is a memorial stone that you can put up if you don't have any remains left of the person that you need to build a grave for. Because if there's a ghost, that only means that the person needs to be buried properly. Probably died in the caverns or whatnot. So what we're going to do is we're creating a slab, and the tantruming dwarf boy is on the loose again. And let's see, make rock crafts. Where's my crafter here for this thing? So if you are wondering where the hell is a job going to when is the job going to get done, you can always check out the tasks. So let's see, we got this job already. I want to just point that out. This job is already assigned to somebody. So that means somebody in the fortress already feels responsible for this task. That's what the green check mark here says. So now we got to check and find the task here in this list. So somewhere there must be a task for that slab here. We're going to find it in a minute or two. So make rock slab. Here we go. So now we can use the magnifying glass and follow the camera and see what's the dude busy with. So this is a wonderful thing you can use for any task where you're wondering when is it going to happen. And here we see the dude is just holding. Sorry, it's a woman. The beards always get me. She was just busy holding that thing. Or haggard child is something that we also have to take care of quite soon. I want to do justice in another episode in the near future. That's also going to be the point when we're stopping the wild deeds of that haggard child. So just in case you were wondering when the hell I'm going to address this problem. But everything at a time. So now we got to check on out here. So cozy borox or cozy ohur, that's what you need next. So when you have the name, get on back to the stoneworkers workshop. And now we add a new task to engrave that thing. So you can find them here in the list sometimes, but also you can just put it into the search bar. Pretty useful too. So we have to engrave that thing now. So we put that on top priority again. And once that's done, we just need to build that slab somewhere, and then we're getting rid of the ghost. So technically, that's all you need to do when a ghost happens to take on over here. So we have a new Fey mood. So let's see what'll happen. He's claimed a clothier's shop. So I must have logs, cut gems, plant cloth. So rough gems. I bet the gems are again the problem. Rock blocks. I bet we have that. So let's get back to our gems. So let's see, where were my gems again? So we got gizzard stones, not exactly gemstones. So we're going to go and take care of that. Fey moods are always worth taking care of, and the dwarves are vibing. Nice. Some party music, eh? So let's check out where we got some nice accessible gemstone. So new tunnel didn't really bring any gemstone. Too bad. Well, let's see. Where do we go next? I just want to find an area where there's already basically mining happening. The longer you play, the more scarce the gemstones will grow, especially if you are on higher scarcity levels than this fortress. This fortress is living the big life, you know? We got lots of everything. So here, there's some bloodstone. That's what we're going to pick on up. I personally always like to go for something that's already on the route, but you can take that as you want to. It's really important that we feed our little worker here. I don't like them to die, and artifacts are really good for your fortress after all. So we're going to require a little bit of rough gemstone, and I bet the moment there is some. So the really interesting part here is the moment this dude is done, or this lady is done with her craving here, I bet she must be a legendary clothier afterwards, because Fey moods, when somebody completes a artifact in a Fey mood, they'll gain legendary skill immediately in that craft. So it's really, really desirable to get that done, you know? So, and to save her life, we're going to cut a gemstone, I thought. But obviously, yeah, they were being hauled. So, things that are being hauled cannot be accessed by these jobs, as you see. Just want to provide a cut gemstone real quick, so my Fey mood worker has materials she requires. Always pay good attention to your Fey mood workers. They really need the attention, otherwise they might die. So let's see. How's that going? All right. So all in all, we are now reproducing iron, and I bet that the that this lag or this illusion of having lots of iron was the reason why the people in the squad didn't get their equipment together. I bet that was totally the reason. So there's always some reason to what's happening, and the pleasant noise now is the first Cyclops that is roaming now into our fortress. So that's gonna be fun. So let's see how that plays out. So Cyclops is, well, I'm quite positive that my boys have a fair chance against that thing. So let's take that seriously. I love this series for all the things that are happening, you know. I don't think that we will get much work done with the traps. So what we're going to do immediately now, I mean, the Billon Bridge ain't done yet, but let's pull the safety lever. Right, let's see what that'll do, you know? We got all that down, and let's see how that's going to work on out for us. So, bridges are raised. Some people are now trapped inside, but here goes the Cyclops. And he's rushing in there, slapping a cat. Okay. I think he must have killed the cat, didn't he? So, no. Actually, nothing happened so far. Okay. He's been tired, but now he's... I'm just waiting for him to run into a dwarf. No, that's not what I wanted to say. So, poor sucker. We lost our fish dwarf. That's not really a big surprise. And there's somebody else dying out there. So as you see there, our defense isn't good enough so far. Who's that? Another fish dwarf. So yeah, fish dwarfs are, by the way, the very high on the loss rate of your fortresses. I'm hoping for this guy to roam into his death. Let's take a quick look at our Thaymud dude. Well, things are looking quite dandy. I mean, this is by no means, don't think that I deem this an ideal way of dealing with this guy. Ideally, wait a sec. So, alright, whatever. I know what has happened. So, the issue here is that our fortress isn't sealed off airtight. So our dwarfs are now swarming outside to loot the bodies of the dead and whatnot, and this is never a good thing. So now several dwarfs are going for the Cyclops. So here we have, this is catastrophe, you know? This is not how you want it to be. For whatever reason, the civilians went in there. It doesn't seem like anybody except the fishy dwarfs died there. So I think they just mobbed up on that dude. Yeah, the Cyclops missed all these guys, so they were punching that thing. Holy crap! Revenge for the fishy dwarfs. Look at that! Oh gosh. That's fun. So basically, yeah, we lost two fishy dwarfs. That's quite tragic. That wasn't necessary, and also showcased the problem in our defenses. So this happened because I have not put up a mechanism that takes care of the people inside the fortress so they can't get out. That's what we missed in this design, but it's always good to put these things to a test and see how they play out. You know, it's always good to test that before things go really crazy. So that dude though seems to be a little bit that lady. Sorry. Let's see. She well, she lost a lot of her stuff there. So why is that? Why is that locked? Doesn't need to be locked. Giant cave spider silk trousers. So let's take its pants. All right, we have wounded people, so always make sure that you have people as orderlies assigned if you have that. And I think, yeah, we've lost all of fisher dwarfs. So yeah, my bad. But I think it illustrated well the problems there. So the orderlies are the people that will go for that poor lady here and pick her up and get her into the hospital there. You see? There. The dude here is now carrying her to the hospital. Recover wounded. This doesn't happen if you don't have orderlies assigned. So I'll show you the problematic. So the thing is, our dudes just went on out from here to there, back upstairs, into the monster. So that was the point where we had to intervene with military. That shows us we still need the bridge here. This one is necessary, because otherwise our dumb dwarfs will not be able to swarm out. But again, this doesn't work. Why? Because our enemies don't have an entrance anymore to our base, and that wouldn't work either. So what we got to do there is we have to solve the problem much earlier. And well, let's see. We got. That's going to be more complicated, and I think I'm going to dedicate a upcoming episode to that, because I have to think about how I restructure this mess. Usually, and that's something I want to emphasize here, what went terribly wrong with this fortress. Usually, I got only a controllable entry situation. This is a totally uncontrollable entry situation that we created here, and I am already considering to seal this box here off because it's nightly uncontrollable. There's utter chaos here. There's staircases everywhere. There's all the workers here, and the moment they get close to anything monstrous, they get squished. So if I'd seal that off in a way that our enemies get to enter here, but not here, and instead there's going to be a downstairs again, which will lead then to an area which is not going to touch this here at all. Sounds complicated, I know, but ultimately I want to funnel my enemies into, I don't know, some other part of my fortress that's not connected with the above ground, with the surface. But like I said, I want to ponder about that a little bit in between. We've taken down the Cyclops because we have trained military dwarfs, and I think this showcases quite well how powerful these guys actually are. They can take down a lot of issues there, and the Cyclops is actually not much of a big deal for a well-trained iron geared fighting squad. So iron is really powerful in that regard. Now then, the next thing that I want to do is I wanted to set on up a barracks down here. That was on my mind. But let's check out. Let's check back with our Feymood person. Works furiously. That's what I want to see. So there's a lot of stuff there. So I'm looking forward to that artifact. So we're going to construct one barracks here. A short skirt. She claims it as a family heirloom. Okay, you do you. But I want to check it out. So, alright, dwarf's gonna be dwarfs. That thing, $2,000. So, let's see. The item is an image of person in pigtail in a fetal position. I don't even want to know more about that. Wait a sec, somebody got encased in ice here? What? I must have missed that. If somebody catch that on the course of the series, I'd be really, really eager to hear about that. It must have happened in the year 101, obviously. So, I did forget, she didn't forget. Alright. So, but the real cool part about that is we got now a... We should now have a legendary clothier as soon as I find it. So... I must have passed it. We have already sorted them by profession, or... gosh. As you see there, in the longer run, the longer a run goes, here, legendary clothier, longer a run grows, the more complicated it goes. And yeah, I shall name you Small the Snarled. Definitely the thing. Alrighty, so great stuff. Now, with the iron shortage being resolved, I felt like it was about time to get ourselves a new squad. So we're going to go for a second military squad, and in the upcoming episodes we're also going to go for a Marks Dwarf squad. But first, I really want to have a second armed force in this fortress because I really feel super tense around the fact that we only have 10 people defending this place at this point of the game. Once you are closer to the 150 dwarfs, you really should have more than only one squad. Or if you only have one squad, you should have at least a proper trap maze defending your base. So I'm picking out the peasants here, by the way, because peasant is a code word for a dwarf that doesn't have any spectacular skills at all. Peasants are my personal grade A material for new soldiers. Let me know what you personally like to pick. So, well, lie makers aren't too useful either. I mean, technically not useless because you need that, but practically, well, wood burners also not the most useful skill there. Animal dissector, not a trader. Yeah, well, we got a trade glazer. I know that I don't glaze anything right now, and a shearer. So all right, we got that squad, and we put it now on the equipment schedule. And yeah, well, we have to do this now for every single dwarf here. The fun part about it is if you don't have enough weapons for the dwarfs, they will go wrestling. So they will definitely learn fighting, even if you don't have enough weapons produced for them. So the idea now for mine is that we're just going to do that now real quick, and then we're going to produce a lot of new weapons. So there's another fun thing that you can do, and probably should do the more fond of the combat system you grow. It's really paying off to equip your squads with a certain type of weapon. So a squad of swords dwarfs or a squad of spear dwarfs, because this way you can control the type of damage your army will do. Some enemies are very susceptible to certain damage types, whereas some enemies aren't susceptible to them all. For a very, very good example would be the undead. When you go against the necromancer army with slicing weapons, you are really writing your own doom because the necromancer will be able to resurrect every piece of cut off limbs out there, and therefore against undead you would always try to go with blunt weapons, because blunt weapons don't sever off any limbs, and therefore they don't reinforce the enemies. And there's a lot of other things that are good examples of why it's worth having specific weapons. So we're going to go here for a delivery of 10 steel short swords. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So weapons are very complicated in this game. So I cannot even quickly summarize here what weapon is good for what, because it's just that complicated in general. But the gist of it is everything which can slice will sever off body parts, and that's bad against undead. Everything else in that area of topics will have to do that another day. So why are you canceling these jobs? So why aren't you just smelting hematite, boy? What's wrong with this workshop? So that's really weirding me out, because I don't see any good reason why that's happening. Ah, because it's the last job on the on the list. All right. You see, there's nearly always a solution to the problem. So we've lost two dwarfs. So it's terribly important that we put up tombs for them. Always put up tombs for your fallen. It's also worth sometimes to just preemptively spread out rooms with empty coffins. I really like to do that, because this way they'll automatically assign the new tombs and coffins to the people that need them. Right on. So we are getting somewhere here with that, and here we got the new barracks. So let's put in the beds that we require. This is a pretty poor environment for dwarves to live in. But the funny part about that is your soldiers most of the time don't care, simply out of the reason that they are so freaking happy to fight. You know, combat is something that makes dwarves extremely happy. And if you ever have depressed dwarfs, it's sometimes really paying off to just let them fight a bit. Put them into military service. Elf bowman. Damn. What are you doing here, long ear? Yeah, well. So sadly, I'm really sorry to say that I haven't filled my part with the traps here for this episode, but I think we did do a lot of what did we actually achieve today? So we did craft a new artifact, and I think there was a lot of insight about defenses and Cyclops smashing, and also a little bit about what we're doing here is also very important in the long run. We're setting up a new squad here, which is also amazing. We're setting up the gear that they require. It'll take a while, but we have sorted the problems out. So really happy to see that this is coming together. Also really happy to see that the hospital is working nicely. So that poor sucker here, you see? She's the one with the mangled left arm here. Her left foot is gone. Damn. Poor thing. So you can here check out what happened in the meantime. Always nice to do that from time to time. So let's check on out where we're going to grab ourselves some new iron from. And we did use up a lot of that. So let's dig out more of that here. I like the idea. I like the idea of digging out that vein here, because it's already inside the mine's territory that we can seal off if we need to. But obviously our fortress needs way more iron. And if you go down and use a lot of iron, it really it can really escalate quite quickly. So here, the entire area here is magnetite. So tell you what, we're going to allow them to just dig that out, and I'm going to reconstruct the walls around. easy as that. Because the fun part here is constructed walls are indestructible for any outside enemies, so it doesn't matter too much. We're just going to reconstruct the security area perimeter for the mines out of blocks, and there we go. This is the part I personally see as extreme creative freedom in Dwarf Fortress. You know, you can do so much, and you can terraform the entire map in a way that you want to. And what's really important, what I really want to point out here, there's really not too many things where you can break something for good, you know? You can't always repair most things. There are some things that are pretty hard to repair, especially the stuff involving water or magma, but there's almost always a solution to whatever decision you have made that you might be regretting there. So as you see here, we're mining big time. All right, my friends. So this is the end of this episode. I feel like we're getting somewhere. These guys here, they're not grabbing any equipment yet, but that's gonna happen sooner or later. We're going to administer some attention to that when the time is right. So yeah, I thank you so much for watching. Next episode, I want to check on out if we can or can't do, I don't know, Mark's Dwarfs maybe? I'm not sure about which topics I want to pick up next. We are at the point of the game where the game also decides topics for us, so to say. Because, you know, as you saw there, that Cyclops was already quite scary. And we really got to work on our defenses. I think that's probably going to be what I'll be featuring the next 1 or 2 episodes more. We're going to talk about justice. So yeah, lots of stuff. As you see, as usual, lots of stuff in the fortress going on, and I hope you guys enjoyed that episode, even though I felt like I strayed far away from my intentions in the first place. We didn't do any traps, but well, next time. We're preparing the trap parts right now, so I'm okay with that. So thanks for watching. Drop me your comments down below. Leave me your thumbs up if you enjoyed, and consider subscribing. There's daily content coming up from my side, and I'd be down to have you. See you guys next time. Bye bye.